Weird.
I can't imagine that.
Were you whining like
Must be
that
actually.
when you were little?
Yeah, I told off my kindergarten teacher because she was wasting my time because we were playing games with the parachute instead of learning stuff, and I was told to go to school to learn.
But were you whining?
Not whiny, but demanding. I'm sure it can be construed as whiny by some.
My grade one report said Dawn is always very good in the playground. She has everybody lined up. You're playing boy senior girls, you're on the teeter-totter, you're going to swing. Right on my grade one report card.
That's hilarious.
All right, 7 o'clock, I'd like to call the regular council meeting, May the 28th to order. First order on the agenda, call for pecuniary interest regarding the agenda. I don't see any in the, in camera, and I don't, if anybody has anything in the room, so we won't worry about that. Agenda additions, deletions, I have one, 6.1, Corporal Brian Machek from the RSMP is here, so we'd like to add that on there. Does anybody have anything else? Not,
I move to adopt the agenda as amended.
thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. So, adoption of previous minutes, April 23rd regular meeting, May the 7th, the regular audit meeting minutes, and May the 14th, the account meeting. Are there any error submissions moving forward? Not. Motion to adopt those minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Bill, all in favor? That is carried. So we will go right to 6.1, Corporal Brian. Thank you very much for coming, sir.
All right.
The floor is yours.
All right. So just bear with me. This is the first time I've done this for the main here, anyways. I don't know. Do you guys get these packages from here?
Yes, we do. Yes.
So yeah, so just a few things I just want to just go over. This is all the priorities from last year. I'll be going over. So mentioning prolific offenders, we were up from last year. So we did a total of 251 for this year. Hotspot checks, we did quite a few. I think our target was 17,000, and so we were over by 100. Sorry, the goal was 15,000, and we reached 17,130. Priority 2 was for community engagement. Dwayne went to 24 council meetings, and we also had 5 town halls. During those meetings and town halls, we get feedback from the community, and that helps us with our priorities for next year. So we've got those plans and work that done getting those out. Not too much of a change. I think we're pretty much doing the same ones. Those are the ones that are the biggest problems in that area. And then the third priority for last year was traffic for fair driving. We did 125 for the year, and that was definitely that mark as well. And in our violator contacts, we had 735 for the year, and that also exceeded. Looking at the stats here for January to December of last year, when you guys look at them on one of the pages there, it talks about person crimes and property crime. They were up. Person crime were up 21%. And looking further into the stats here, that contributed to 2 kinds of categories, and that was harassment and uttering threats. That's the reason for that jump. And then property crime jumped a little bit, 4%, and that's the thing that I've noticed.
Sorry to interrupt there.
Sure. I just wanted to point out that if anybody's looking for it, if you go back to the minutes we just passed, it's in there, just for everyone's, just because now the current agenda, right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yes, if anyone's trying to follow along, it's in the previous minutes.
Okay. Right. And just going back to the property crime, and the reason why that's still going up, we feel like at one point we had all of our prolific offenders kind of in jail for a while, and their time came up, and now they're the things that I've noticed that have gone up were, the big thing I've noticed were, the things I noticed was the, recreation vehicles, camping trailers, loading trailers itself, and license plates. Those have gone up quite a bit, I've noticed over the last year. When we do our search warrants on these residences, like we're talking about one of them in particular, when we do these search warrants, we actually locate quite a bit of this property on these search warrants. And a lot of times it's a lot of, license plates, and side-by-sides and quads and stuff like that. Go ahead.
Just, do you guys still offer like the screws for license plates, and just find if they actually work?
We do. This is the thing, I've seen them work, yes, because they move on to the next license plate, right? But I also have seen ones where, like, the search warrants that we've done, I've seen them actually cut into the license plate.
Yeah, just cut the little
They have
tabs,
tin
yeah.
snips,
Yeah.
and they just cut down to where the.
Yeah, I've always been kind of skeptical. I feel like if I was at all determined, it wouldn't really stop me, but then again, like I say, I guess they move on to the next person.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So it's hard to gather stats there, but I have seen the odd license plate with the cuts on the license plate, so that makes me think that they're taking tin snips of some sort and just cutting towards the center of the.
Do you guys still offer them like at the attachment here?
We do, yep. Yeah, we do, yeah. So, so if you ever talk to anybody, let them know. If we don't have any more, we can definitely get some more. So I know Leduc County has quite a few still, so I'll just call them and pass them over.
Thank you.
Yeah, so like I said, the property crimes are the biggest thing. Another issue that we're having or that's climbing in our area, well-being checks. On one of the pages here, you'll see a well-being check. It's dated up to the top here. It says January to December 2019 to 2023. And towards the 3/4 of the way down, it says well-being check, and then it has in red writing issue. Well-being checks, the reason that they're a little bit high this year is because we find that when we deal with family issues, domestic issues, when we split parties up and they're no longer allowed to be at home, if one person is charged and has conditions that they can't be at home anymore, then they tend to start using and leaning on us and start asking us to go and check on their kids, especially for their kids involved. So they'll start leaning on us and asking us to go check on the kids because they don't get a third party that's involved with picking up kids and dropping them off with the other party there. Sometimes they won't believe what they're telling them. And so then they'll just randomly call us and say, can you go check on my kids because I don't believe that the other parent is taking care of them properly. So that's that's why the well-being checks are a little bit higher this year. Other than that, I'm just going to the last pages here. Before I get to that part, so one of the highlights we've had at the Thorsby and Warburg High School is that we had a member, Constable Kazula, he went and did an impaired driving demonstration with the high school kids there, and the kids actually found it to be quite the learning experience. While they're there, they got to wear, we call them beer goggles, goggles over their head, and try to walk a fine line, sort of a go-kart or push cart. They jump into and try to steer it, and I've had those on, and they actually are quite difficult to. I tried to bounce a basketball on a line, and they were yeah. So if you ever have a chance to put those on, try them out. They're quite neat.
You need some more pairs?
Pairs of. I don't think so. No, I think we have.
But the Strickland with transportation, I got the marijuana goggles.
Oh, okay.
I'll throw them out.
Okay, that'd be nice to have. And then, just to end off at the end here, just some of the highlights that we had is, like, we're talking about another, significant, seizure that we had. We completed a search warrant on a property, it's not in this area, but it's, a lot of the property that we found, came from, this area all the way to the, so, we did a search warrant on a, property in, the Elder Flats area, back in April, and, while we were doing that, we located quite a few things, like I mentioned, vehicles, side-by-side snowmobiles, tons of tools, a couple of flatbed trailers, and, even a hot tub that was stolen from one of the yards, right across the tile. Yeah, so we recovered that. And then at the same time, we also were doing a search warrant in the Parkland area, which again, we, recovered, quite a few, same kind of, items, except for the hot tub. And 3 people were charged out of it, and they were all out of the Alder Flats area. One is a, prolific offender of ours. He was out for about 6 months, and we were finally able to catch up to him and put enough evidence together, and here he is in jail now. So that was quite nice to see him put away. And yeah, we'll be working on a few other projects where we have a few more prolific offenders that we're tracking down and keeping an eye on. We've got information that they are active in the area. So we'll see what happens here the next few weeks. Yeah, any questions?
Yeah, go ahead. We're kind of in the golden triangle. I grew up in Rimby. We got Rimby, Winfield, Breton, Warburg, Thorsby. The golden triangle.
Yeah, and even, and they're even starting to spread out now. Like I said, they're even going to, Calmar and into Leduc now. So they're starting to, the area's bigger. Yeah, and I think there's, more players now that are involved now. Those offenders that get out, they must make friends while they're in jail, and, they get them to you get them to come out and help out, and, yeah, like you said, they kind of move around.
That builds a company, right?
Yeah.
Staff from a hot tub party.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a good snowmobile on that.
It's just like one thing on here that isn't normally in these is the inclusion of the 9mm that's loaded. I mean, that's obviously not, for any reasonable lawful purpose, but are we seeing sort of rise in the increase of aggression or violence that are associated with something? I mean, 64 offenses or whatever, that's great, they all seem like possession, or, stolen goods related things.
Yeah.
There's nothing like, escalating as far as like violent crime, as far as I can tell, no?
No,
Okay.
no, that was, actually the incident there with this person with this loaded, 9mm, I guess, a couple of nights ago. I was in the Breton area, kind of where the fires were, over there. I guess it was 71. This person that we have in jail now, Justin Hammer, he was in his own vehicle, trying to go look for fuel, and he went into a farmer's property that the owners were away, and they had to take care of it. And when they went to approach people, Mr. Hammer got out and fired on 2 rounds. They were trying to scare them away, and drove away. So, and then I think it was like 2 days later when the search warrant, and we actually found them both.
Yeah, but we're not seeing like a increase in like armed invasion, like home invasions or anything weird like that. That's
No,
associated.
nothing that I have seen. That was the.
I've never seen that sort of note associated with these before in, in 6-7 years now. It just seemed like a significant inclusion to suddenly be in there. So.
Yeah, like I've been here for a year and a half now, and that's the first time that I've come across an incident like that.
Okay.
It's quite concerning, but nothing. There's nothing to be on the rise.
Okay, perfect.
Well, thank you very much. Anybody have any other questions?
Do you go in the school?
Yeah, we do. Yep. We have,
Because I was wondering about voting, like, it was brought to my attention today that there's a family that pulled their children out of our schools because of voting.
so we have two SROs that, kind of help out with the Warbird schools and the Thorsby schools. And, they go out and they will, do talks all the time with the students. And then they also have a close relationship with the counselors. So I don't know, if that family went to the
I have no idea. They
counselors
just
there, yeah.
are thinking of selling out and getting out of those because they think it's so bad. And I know our schools aren't the greatest. I mean, I have 3 kids that went through these schools, and my kids have nothing nice to say about those schools.
Yeah, I haven't been in authority schools yet, myself. But I know, like I said, I know the SROs, we do, school resource officers, they are in the schools quite a bit. It'd be nice to have one there more than we can, but when we are
But
there.
it would be nice if a kid's having problems, he has somebody he can go and talk to about this stuff.
And that's what we always, point out, if members aren't there, we always ask them to go talk to the counselor. I think there's counselors in the school all the time, and they're available. I don't know if your kids had that opportunity.
Probably, but I didn't get into trouble.
Okay.
I wasn't a working mom, I was a stay-at-home.
Oh, back when I went to school, in the 80s, 90s, I don't know counselors in junior high, high school.
Yeah, no, I just felt sorry for, like, this lady was telling me, and she said, these people love Thorsby, they love their home, but for their children's sake, they feel they have to leave.
Yeah, you should have them reach out to a counselor at the school, or they would come and talk to us as well.
Well, that's what I said, why don't they go to the RCMP and bring this to their attention, that this is happening?
Sometimes what we do is we'll sit down, where we have sat down with all the parties involved, like one kid, arguing or bullying each other, or one bullying another. And we kind of sit down and we kind of have a round table, we call it, and all their feelings out there, and we try to resolve the problem. So, yeah, if you can reach out to them and let them know that we're always available to talk to them. Or they can go and, yes, use a counselor.
Well, it doesn't sound like they got any help from school. That's why she's homeschooling them.
If you ever do want to talk to her, just let her know that we're available to talk to you. All the office, or the school goes on.
Yeah, I find in this school in Thorsby, if you're a teacher, the teacher's kids, the businessman's kids, they're the ones that get the best. Isn't that right, Carol?
I don't know, my kids did well, so.
My kids did well too, and they're all doing well, but I'll tell you, none of my kids went to their graduation, their 10-year or 15-year graduation. Parties. No, there's nothing nice I have to say about anybody I went to school with.
Other things you're working too important with, you need, RCCO can do that as well, and if you guys do.
Oh, okay.
So if they're disclosing anything about criminal nature, then you would definitely call you, but I think if your SRO can't get out here, you see the problems we hear that we can make this for a while. Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you got another resource, yes. 100%, yeah, the kids like him, they model him when they see him, so that's kind of a good sign. He's very good, he's playing basketball with high school kids. A couple of years.
Yeah,
Your
okay,
guy?
I heard that, yeah.
Yep.
I heard that, yeah.
So he's definitely a pinch hitter for you.
Okay.
Well, thanks very much. Well, you're free to, take off or hang around wherever you want.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you coming in, and it was very nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and hopefully you're sticking around. Oh, you're free. Oh, no.
No, I'll let you
Have a
know.
good night.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, move on to, old business, 7.1, the spring budget adjustments final. CFO Cindy, please.
All right, so I got it down to 2.85%. I had to adjust the reserves a little bit, so a total of 20,000 going in. And then for the capital budget, for the river intake pump, we had only originally had one pump in there for 150,000. But because they came in so low, to get two pumps fully installed is only $50,000 more. So I upped it to 200. That would give us a backup. Right now, we're running on one, and it is on its last leg. So even if we get one, and this one, then we're running the new one far too hard, and it won't last as long. So I think for that extra 50,000, Corey.
I'm assuming, like, if we're replacing both, that's a good idea, but are we including any sort of like a cycling system to make sure that they're alternating the runtime?
Yeah, and then they're gonna like run them both for sure because they want to warranty, right? Make sure that they're.
Sure, but yeah, like making sure that we have like an automated system whereby it alternates them without intervention so that it actually is done, I guess.
Yes, and so I don't know if it's be automated, but there is, and now we have maintenance programs, so we were running them on, they were using canola oil.
That doesn't, that's.
Some point, somebody told them that that's what we should use, and we actually got an email from them because they are refurbishing, one of them too, and they said that using that has caused premature.
That'll be very expensive as well. I'm sure you need a lot of canola oil. That seems like probably not a very economical solution.
Yeah, it was a canola oil, right?
That is correct. Oh, sorry, food grade canola oil, yeah. We have about 60 gallons of it.
I mean, it would be food grade, but it's like say it's not a very good lubricant. It's not very cheap. It would be a really expensive way of lubricating it, if nothing else.
Premature
Pump failure by 15 years of both those river pumps.
And that's the logic there.
And then the bulk water station, was originally budgeted for 250, and it actually has to cost a little bit more. So I put it in there for 300, but we got a number today of like 311, so I'm gonna put it in for 315, which doesn't affect the property tax increase because it's all from grant. So, that number will change again to 3.
And this is all MSI, so either we use it, I mean, we don't
Yeah,
get it unless we use it.
Yeah, and if we don't, like, if I apply for 315 and it comes in at 300, we don't lose that 15.
Right, okay.
It's just we can use it for something.
Yeah, but it's not like we lose it if we don't use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, when we do a road or something, it would still be
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
We have to use it on something,
But you don't
but
get it until
we
you.
could use it on any number of other infrastructure projects as well. It's not like it's specific to this project.
Right,
Yeah.
so like if I put in 315, if I apply for a grant for 315 and
Makes
we
sense.
only use 297, and then, it's the extra 18 there. Yeah.
Or if we found a grant that were to fund the bulk water, then we could still retain that MSI for other infrastructure.
Yeah.
I have the breakdown of that for in-county.
Anybody have any comments or questions about that? If I could get a motion to approve the spring budget with a 2.85 increase in property taxes?
I can make that motion.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, well, that's, considering everybody else, 2.85 is pretty.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
We're quite a bit higher, yeah.
a lot higher.
I was listening today in Edmonton, they said that a $400,000 house, the tax is about $4,300. Okay, 7.2, letter and motion re-bill 20. See if O'Donnell, say O'Donnell, you want to talk to that?
For sure, Your Worship, thank you. So you can see in your package that, the package, that's going to be sent to Premier, Mr. McIver and Andrew, Vladchenko is ready to go. If we need any edits that we can make them tomorrow. It will go out via email and the courier package, hard copy to use. The Premier, the Minister, and our MLA, and that's incorporating Councillor Corey's recitals, and it was tasked to the CAO to provide a supplemental letter, and on to the different things in Bill 20. So, everyone's had a chance to read it, take a look at it. If we need to edit it, if edits on the work that, my office has done, not a problem, please feel free.
Yeah, good.
Well, just, yeah, as far as the amendments go, I mean, they added more words, they didn't really change the intent or meaning of anything.
No, they didn't.
I'm just reading your letter, I would get the impression that they might have actually amended something worth amending, they just added more words.
I'm trying to be kind in the top part, I'm trying to be crude.
I was fairly offended that they called that an amendment, they literally just added more words and said the same exact thing.
Pretty much. I can change the flavor of that first.
And I guess then just in the, maybe it could have been my typo if it was copy and pasted for all I know, but in the actual motion, it just says Bill 30.
Yeah.
So
That does.
on,
Oh, yeah, got it, yeah,
later on, it is corrected down to Bill 20, but, yeah.
got it, that's the correction. So what I can do, Councilor Corey, is, put a little different, final ending comment on it, that although the words are in the amendment style, the flavor of the bill still remains.
Well, yeah, I mean, making the sentence more convoluted doesn't actually impose restrictions or limitations on cabinet, which is essentially the concern. Well, yeah, I mean, I can read English, I mean, making a longer sentence doesn't make it more restrictions, like the, well, that's at their sole unfettered discretion still.
So noted.
Tracy?
I had mentioned that, or had seen the Bill 30 as well, but I believe you got that changed already. And I was just going to mention, on page 3, it says the town of Thorsby objects strenuously. I just find that an odd wording, so would greatly opposed be better instead of strenuously?
In the last page,
Page 3, it's dated May 30,
Oh, it's the,
2024.
it's right here. The council.
oh, under point 1?
The sentence above point 1.
Oh, object strenuously to the following, okay.
Yeah, I just find that odd wording, but I would suggest greatly opposes.
Or strenuously object?
I don't like strenuous. To me, it sounds like you're lifting weights. I don't know, that's just the only thing I really noticed besides the Bill 30, which has been corrected.
And the cabinet up above, I thought.
I know you said you edited something, but I didn't know what you had edited.
So what is your suggestion again, Councilor Tracy?
Greatly object. Or greatly opposes, rather than object strenuous.
Anything else?
I have to have this out the door before noon tomorrow.
Yeah, sooner than later would be ideal, yeah.
Yeah, no, it'll happen.
I thought their whole amendment was cute, where because the talking points in the next one is, well, we heard the concerns, and so that's why we introduced the amendment. It's just purely for the sake of having a talking point. They didn't amend anything.
No, I just want to shut everybody up.
They want to be able to say that they heard the concerns and amended it, but they didn't change anything. It's not a real amendment.
MacIver was talking about the amendments the other day, and to me, it appeared that he just said, "Oh, you don't like it too bad."
That's in the extent of the consultation.
That's the impression I got out of the whole thing.
It's fairly significant, just complete attack on democracy as we currently have it. This is fairly inappropriate and unacceptable as far as
I agree. All right, so I got a motion to approve the letter with the changes.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, all in favor? That is third. Yeah, hopefully at least, anything else. 7.3.
well, good news. If they're going to remove people from council unilaterally, I guess my name's on the motion, but you're the one signing the letter, so I guess we're both getting removed.
Oh, well. Yeah, guilty by association.
Not right now, thank you.
All right, 7.3, contract addendum, CFO, Donna, you want to talk, who wants to talk about this?
I probably should, it's not
Okay.
good for someone who wants to a contract who wants to speak to it.
All right.
Basically, taking council's direction, council wanted us to add a comment with respect to the town, that they will conduct a hybrid working arrangement time on site as per Schedule B, including availability on phone, text, Teams, email, except in the circumstances of the contractor having scheduled vacation time. Any emergent issues will take great priority. The schedule outlines all the duties, we haven't changed it, it outlines all the duties of the CFO, so that's, either being away or being in the office, these are their duties. And the, hybrid refers to being here at the regular council meetings on Zoom for, Cal, and, on Teams with the staff team as well.
All right, thank you. Anybody have any questions, comments about that?
The last sentence there doesn't quite have context, or I don't quite understand the context that's there. Any emergent issues will take priority. But what does that mean?
Oh, that means that they have a personal emergency issue.
Sure, but I feel like that sentence, the way it's presented, doesn't really provide any clarification, or I have no understanding of what it means in the context of the document.
Okay, I can fix that. We can indicate any personal emergency will take priority for not being in the municipality, and conversely, any emergency in the municipality will require the CFO to be there.
That would be fine. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't gather that from, without a great deal of just inferring and guessing.
Okay, I can fix that.
Okay, anything else in there? If not, can I get a motion to approve the addendum to the CFO, Chief Financial Officer's contract?
With the amendments.
Yeah. All in favor?
Thank you very much, Council.
Okay, new business, 8.1, peace officer appointed as weed inspector. That'd be a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead there, Donna.
Thank you, Your Worship. Under the Weed Act, we can appoint a weed inspector with the town. Granted, the county has a weed inspector, but they've got the county to look after. And we have some significant noxious weeds here in town, mainly in the industrial areas, and that have got to be dealt with this summer, and will be dealt with this summer. And of course, the noxious weeds coming off of Weed Creek, no pun intended, and a few other things. A lot of folks innocently are growing some of these noxious weeds, and they don't realize it. So it's not about giving them fines, it's about saying, you got noxious weeds in your yard. So it gives the CPO the power under the Weed Control Act of Alberta to write fines if they need to, but basically to help folks identify, get rid of these weeds, and gives us a little more power if people don't want to mow their yards or get rid of these weeds. It gives us a little more power. The Weed Act allows us to do that in the municipality, and the CPO is probably the best one to do the weed inspector. Right?
Yeah, if we're gonna have like a local survey, as far as I understood, we just kind of rely on the counties, which is fine. But if we're going to, I don't know that he has the appropriate background. Like, what would be required, training wise or educational wise? Like, I'm assuming there's more to this than just going and arbitrarily decreeing what a weed is.
No, believe it or not, there's no training. He has the Weed Act, which isn't very big, and then he has the Noxious Weeds of Alberta catalog that's all in color. That's all the weed inspectors look at it that way. He can also check in with the weed inspector with the county if he has any issues or any, because they've been doing it a little longer. So it's basically the Weed Act of Alberta, the Noxious Weeds of Alberta book, all the colored weeds in it.
Sure, when you give me a book and say here's what weeds are, I'm gonna look at 10 different plants and say, I don't know, maybe it looks like this, maybe it looks like that. I don't know his comfort or level of background with, like, I personally wouldn't be able to tell you what a weed is and what a flower is in many cases, so I don't know what his.
Probably an app for that.
Having, that's the level of understanding, we're probably not barking up the right tree, I guess, is my concern. I don't know what's involved here. So.
No, he's fine, he's totally fine with it, and they can, get off the call with task when weed inspector, he called some of the county weed inspectors if he's not sure. He can also take pictures of it and send it to the government of Alberta if he's not sure, they'll identify it for him. Okay. So there's some technology where they never use.
And there is resources for, okay, because, like I say, I'm sure that will be not very far down the road, him saying that's a weed and the person saying, nope, it's not, right?
That's right. No, he can take pictures of it and send it in, and it's identified virtually.
And there's like you say the province generates a list of what is considered a noxious weed versus
They have a whole big colored booklet. Yeah, you bet, you bet. It gives us a little more power to work with Alberta Environment, because at the water's edge, we have those noxious white weeds. And, we can't touch them at water's edge for 50 feet, but they're encroaching up the banks into the water treatment area and going that way. And so it gives us a little more, I won't say club, that's not the word I want to use, but an inspector to inspector, they'll listen to each other, so to speak, right? So if we have an appointed weed inspector that needs to pull the province, they'll take his call, and they'll think it through better. And it also, that whole industrial area is full, I wish I knew the name of that weed, we all seen it.
Is it a white flower,
Is
looks
it a
like
main
a
weed?
chamomile?
The one weed is white, the other one is, it smells like a bit of like eucalyptus, it's not. And it has a yellow head on it and tiny seeds, like tiny holes, but that big on the top making the flower. Could be, Jeff, I'm not sure. Yeah, you could be right. And it's full in our industrial park, it's gonna come out of
Well, I
it.
know most of those lots have never been mowed once since the day they've been developed.
100%. They're gonna get an amazing opportunity this summer.
Don't come near my yard. My yard is a sea of yellow, that was beautiful.
I drove by the other day and I totally felt it.
I'm gonna go out and spend Danny.
And are warnings being issued yet for long grass or,
Over on all that, oh yeah, we're not, it's been too wet, right? So June 20th, if it's not cut, June 21st, you get a ticket, it gets cut by our contractor, and, you get invoiced, it goes on the tax roll. Things about summer, we're not.
they get a ticket, but did they get a warning?
They get a warning, everybody will get letters, it will be in the paper every week. By the 20th of every month, you must mow. 21st, we'll mow it for you and you get a ticket. Same as last summer. The industrial park will be different, because we've never enforced that before. So it's gonna be a little different about,
Well, it's not as simple as go mow it at this
no,
point.
it's not. It's too rough there. There's a whole lot of rocks and stuff in there.
And it's in, like, say, it's 2 feet deep of, like, years of, like, built up thatch, of like
Yeah.
that. Some of those have never been mowed out.
No, they haven't. And it's gotta come out of there. So it'll be a letter indicating you must clean up your lot. And they'll be given a little bit of time, and then we'll work with them a little bit more, but in the end, we will get a machine in there and they will get the bill.
This rag, you have to fix that by hand.
Yeah, it's gotta be burnt.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of this isn't ragweed, I'm confident of it. It's
Soil, dirt from Mel Rush.
oh yeah.
3 years I was out with the rag.
Yeah. Dan and I will go through the industrial park and we'll take a look and see what's there. We're gonna let it bloom here a little bit, they'll let it get green, right now it's still dead, so,
Now that it stopped raining, everything's gonna start
Picking.
blooming, yeah.
exactly, 100%. So, we'll go up there and take some walks through the parks out there. And, I wanna see by the middle of the summer, that industrial park is tidy. We cannot distribute water, we cannot be a water town if people drive by on 39 and see that. It's just not right, and it's not fair when we're chasing, empty lots in town to do it, and we don't bother with the industrial park. So it's
Well, it is a hazard to some extent too. There's a lot of dead kind of brush, so to speak. It's, I mean, thick and deep and tangled up old dead, you know, God knows what, how many years. It actually seems like a fire hazard, if nothing else to me.
That's what worries us too, 100%. It's kindling starts.
Very much so.
There's no question, somebody can flick a cigarette off.
Yeah, somebody's
that
gonna go
road.
for a walk down the creek and like say, a cigarette or whatever. I mean, a lot of that'll go up really quick on fall.
And then you have chemical plants sitting there.
What
So-
about that spot across from my house? That they don't ever like to get in there. You've got to hire students, get them out there with food backers and get that all cut down and see what's there. So you could level that off. That was horrible over there.
I was down the back alley by.
Not the back alley,
In front?
it's in, you know where they park them campers along the railway track?
Yeah.
The very eastern part of it.
Yeah, it's just to the west of where we have our clippings place there.
That's all still owned by CP there, so.
Yeah, I know it's all
Should
CP.
be CT, but does the village not have, 15 feet of town property? That, some of that is on, if it is town property.
I'll check the maps, I'm not sure we have boulevard access. The city has their own right of way for sure. They have, 15, depends on which track there, it could be 15 feet, it could be 60 feet, I don't know, I have to check the map. But that was all Imperial Oil stuff at one time, EGG.
Not down by my place, it wasn't.
I'm fairly confident that's all CP.
I'm sure it's all CP, for sure it is, but.
I'll double check the map, though,
Yeah, but it looks terrible over there.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you
It's
there.
been on their 5-year list
I said
to,
you can cut down
it's
trees
been on their
down.
5-year list to remediate and pull those tracks out since 2000, since 2000.
Yeah.
So every year, it's on their 5-year list of tracks to pull out, but they've never actually progressed it on that 5-year list.
They are impossible to get a hold of. CNR, CP, only has 75 police in
And
Canada.
you have to talk to feds, and they'll never answer calls back.
Nope.
And, it's very difficult to deal with.
Like I said, I don't understand the point of these 5-year lists, because they literally have never, ever progressed it off of that 5-year list.
Yeah, when we wanted that shack down, and I said we wanted to take it, because Grant wanted it, and they were gonna burn it, but we could take it off their hands. They were here, once I finally said, we'll take it from you, just give us the nod. Within a week of that email, they were here tearing it down to the hole.
When they come do inspections on the crossings, hasn't had train on that crossing for a decade, and yet they come every how often?
Once a month, they
Yeah.
come once a month. 3 months ago,
I don't
last
understand that.
summer, they, Dave was walking across from the water treatment plant, down the tracks to the dam there. The policeman was out, stopped him and said, get off the tracks, I'll give you a ticket.
Yeah, like I said, there hasn't been a train there for,
Yeah, I know, and he would have given him a ticket.
I think once in the last decade, they had cars backed up this far, that they actually had to hit that intersection. Once in the last decade. And yet they, like I say, I don't understand why they're incurring the cost if nothing else.
I don't know, they seem to think because I guess apparently in their rules, I think if they're checking signals, in their mind, the track is theirs and still has to be maintained to a certain, whatever extent. Bizarre.
Seems
So
crazy.
bizarre. It is, it's a waste of time and money.
Well, it's actually an impediment for us. Like, it separates the town in half as far as from an emergency management perspective and stuff, and planning, why there's the one way to get across the tracks. It's really nice to have a second option.
It would be. And no, they let us pave it over. I mean, that's the thing, we paved over for a while for the sidewalk. And not supposed to pave over track.
Well, then paved over down.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's bizarre. I don't get it.
Alrighty, can I get a motion to appoint peace officer John Vidic as the weed inspector for Thorsby?
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name, but I'll.
I don't either, I try to move a little fast.
Yeah.
And so you're making a motion?
Yeah, I think I'll make that motion. I just can't pronounce his name properly. I know I can't, so I don't want to offend him.
Monotonic there, so you pronounce it.
We just call him day off.
All right, 8.2, bank accounts, CFO Cindy, please.
Okay, well, the town of Thorsby currently has 8 operating accounts and 4 savings accounts. So we really only require 1 operating account, that's all we're using right now. There's a little bit of money basically from interest because I had transferred it all previously. But I just want to close those extra 7. And then the savings account, they have, right now, there's $230,750 that's in excess of the reserve fund in there, which could be used, we could be using it in operating and not be front line of credit. So, save interest, but it requires a 90-day notice to get it out of there, just because of the type of accounts that they're in. So, I just would like a motion to say that I can close those 8 extra operating accounts, only have 2 savings accounts, not 4, and then transfer that money to operating.
So these accounts, go ahead,
I just wanted to clarify, I know like a ways back, we had switched, and we were dealing with the ATB and South End. It was like a holdover from that, but it was like those, like, prior accounts didn't get shut down at the other.
No, this is all at ATB.
Yeah, but it's a different branch, I know, like,
No,
there's
all
one
the
branch that
same
switched
branch.
to the south side there. Why wouldn't?
We only have 1 account manager, and he manages our accountant there that does
Or
those
used
transfers.
to we switched, and then, so.
Yeah, he's out of Edmonton, our account manager is out of
It used to not be
Edmonton,
out of Edmonton, we switched there.
but our branch is the Thorsby branch. So these are just accounts like, previous administration, when they got a grant, they'd open a bank account, put the grant money in there. But the money, we only have like one checking account, so
Yeah, I mean, there's no, you can still account with the same.
you can do it through your general ledger.
This is why I go through all
There's no point, and like the time it takes to reconcile 8 bank accounts is,
I'm assuming we're paying fees, so.
no, the only fee that we have is on the main one, just because everything goes through it. But the other ones don't have fees, it's just, I mean, to reconcile for nothing, because I don't use them.
Yeah.
Any other questions on those? Okay, motion to move those accounts, leaving one operating, one reserve, and one land tax, and approve the transfer of exit funds from savings accounts to operating.
I'll make that motion to authorize the CFO to do that.
Is it all in favor? That is carried. All right. 9.1, tax bylaw 2024-06 to establish the tax rate for 2024. Say, Donna, you want to talk about that?
With the original kind of review.
So based on the budget that you just approved, the property tax bylaw is attached, Schedule A. That takes into account the 2.85%. And then all the mill rates from the education. New housing foundation, and the dip, and
And this, I mean, this is nothing new, we do this
so
every
it's
year.
the same one every year, I just updated the rate.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's a different format than all the other bylaws, but this is because it's the mandated format, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do first, second, and third today. Okay.
I'll get these in the mail tomorrow.
Okay, can I get a motion for first reading of bylaw 2024-06?
First reading bylaw 2024-06.
All right, all in favor? Can I get a second reading of bylaw 2024-06?
I'll do that.
Thank you, Tracy, all in favor? Carried, and then do we need a motion we can do the third? So I'm gonna motion to allow us to have the third and final reading.
And it's imperative that we do that,
All in favor?
grudgingly, very grudgingly.
I know. Next year we'll.
And lastly, the third and final reading of bylaw 2024-06.
I don't like 3 readings of a meeting, so I'm not, but.
I thought that's what Shelley just did.
No, she did unanimous
Yeah.
consent to do third reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
pardon me.
Now we.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor?
Grudgingly,
That is carried.
Yeah, if I didn't have to get them in the mail.
I
every week.
understand.
That's what I put grudgingly.
I don't think that's an actual, like, formal vote of grudgingly in favor, I was like, slight challenge, yeah.
I'll bring this up.
All
Yes, I
right.
just, like, on principle, don't like the 3 readings at once.
I know you don't.
I think I'm gonna mention it once.
Necessary evil. All right, 9.2, the council financial policy, FIN 24-1, donations. Take a look. Everybody's had a chance to look at this one here. Any comments on that? Anything you want to bring up on it, Theodore?
No, we've received nothing from, new comments from council, and administration is happy with, how it's worded, but we can take any kind of corrections they're thinking tonight, otherwise, we're quite happy with it being passed.
Okay. Nobody has any questions? All right, so then a motion passing the, donations policy, bring it into effect. Thank you, Shelley. All in favor? That is carried. All right, moving right along to 11.1, variance report for April 2024. Cindy
Busy
again.
lady this.
Busy lady, Cindy.
So the variance report, again, income, and we're only at 13.46% of revenue, which will change next month. But for expenses, we are a third of the way through the year, and we're at 32%. So we're right on track.
Is that typical? Because I mean, we obviously have some large bills that are kind of not allocated, kind of on an even spread. I don't know.
Yeah, so, like, yeah, we've had some larger bills.
Are there any like that we're expecting in the fall? I can't remember if there's any that kind of end of year big bills. That are kind of
No, mostly they're spread out, like, all the big, like, debentures are
yeah.
every,
I want to say there. Yeah, they were like June or something.
they were
that
March,
one, and-
March, June, September, December, yeah. And then, education, same thing,
Yeah.
March. And then the other big bill that went out was insurance, that was 120, so that.
Actually, I felt like there was like something in the fall that we're kind of always expecting, but I can't remember what it was.
Not our, I call it the seniors and the education.
No, that's the education, they spread out
They're
over
just
the
straight in
year.
and out either way, so they don't really change.
No.
Yeah.
I just like, oh yeah, we're kind of on track, but is there something that like, are
I
we?
can't think of anything
Okay.
off the top of my head that comes out, like insurance was a big one, because of the, and it came out.
Yeah, I might just be thinking about the requisitions or something.
That's the word I was looking for.
I know there's something that I was like in the back of my mind, but I can't actually think of what it could be, so I mean, that might be all it is. And if that's the case, then it looks like we're right on it.
We are good.
You're good.
All right then, can I get a motion to accept the variance report for April as information?
Yeah, I can move to accept that for information.
You all in favor? And that is carried. And then we'll go into, 12.1, correspondence, just a cookie run, thank you, letter. Donna, you wanna comment on that, or?
Yeah, for sure, Your Worship. This was a really good run for the Costello syndrome. And the organizers brought their little one into the town office. And so not to show her off or anything, but just to say that it's for her, basically, and those that suffer Costello syndrome. As a sister of someone who's very severely compromised and handicapped, which kind of runs are important because a lot of these genomic anomalies don't have a lot of funding, and they're not well known. And I have a little education in Costello syndrome, that's for sure. And so anyway, they asked us to block roads, and our CPO was out there running with them as well, and running traffic detail, and they raised wonderful support here, $11,510. Over 1,700 cookies were eaten. I think my husband was out, was not here, 2,700 cookies eaten. And it was great. They had a great time, well hosted, and the town should be proud they hosted another wonderful event to go to a wonderful cause.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just wondering about our wonderful generosity that was given. Is that the blockade, or what was the extent of our generosity?
Well, first of all, speaking with them and talking with them and spending time with them, for one. Number two, understanding what their run was about. And then, of course, they asked us to block roads off, which is in our purview to do so. And our CPO, that's part of his job for public engagement. So that's what it was.
You run with them?
He did run with them, yeah. And then he jumped back in the squad car and go watch the big intersection so they could run across, and he'd get back in and run in full gear, ran in full gear. So,
That's a little difficult to do it.
he did it. So that's what we do.
All right. Motion to accept correspondence for information. Shelley, you all in favor? That is carried. So, public comments. We have two public back there.
What's happening with my road and my back alley?
I can answer that, Your Worship. Andrew and I drove by it. Not sure I have an answer yet. I feel I don't feel. I'm saddened that your road curve, you have no curve and gutter in the front, that's obvious. What they did is just raise the asphalt, that's part of it. You go by the front there, I can see.
There was a curb there, and the graders have ripped a lot of it out.
Yeah, it's because it's made out of asphalt, it's not a true curve. What they did was when they paved the road, they just, with the paver, they just went like this and gave you a fake curve. So it doesn't do anything, right? Which is unfortunate. So I can see why your vegetation is growing over the top because there's no curb and gutter system there.
No, I feel like it was in front of my place before, where it's literally, they formed a curve out of asphalt. It's quite a preposterous thing, but then it falls apart and it's horrible. But there was a bunch of roads in town that used to have, like, not many left, but yeah, they literally had a boxed out curve of asphalt. I don't know how the hell they even did it.
I don't know either, because even on the other side of the street, right, it's the same. So the water pools, everything pools, you don't have, sidewalks.
The water drains.
No, but up a little further, we were there when it was raining, it was cooling, right? So I'm not sure how we could fix that other than redo the road, that's my problem. I don't have what that.
I don't mind not doing the road, but the hole that's starting to form
Notice that.
needs to be fixed and not filled with gravel, fixed.
Yeah, and we don't know if we've got a sinkhole going there. We definitely are confident we don't have a water main break or anything as it's not registering and such. It could be a sinkhole, it could be, what happened at, Councilor John's house, where when they fixed it, do you ever remember if anything was ever fixed in front of your house? Okay, so you might have a bit of a sinkhole going on, and about the only thing we can do with it for now is fill that whole hole with gravel and tap it in that way.
And then pave over it.
We probably won't, we have to do the whole street.
I don't want gravel there. Too many of them freaking get the real roaring up by my place and spinning their tires and.
That's in front of you, that's in front of your house you're talking about, right? Yeah.
I don't need rocks coming in my window.
We could fill it with gravel, and then we have some hot mix or cold mix, tap it on top like a pothole filler. I don't want to fill that hole near the dander with pothole mix, because if we have a sinkhole there, we've got to fill it with gravel. So we might be able to put some cold mix and some hot mix on top and clean it over and do a pothole.
How long do roads usually last?
In this town, not long. They should last a long time. We have a problem in this town underneath our roads.
And it's like 48 years old.
Yeah, and they're falling apart. A lot of the bases are falling apart because.
Not just my road.
Oh, no,
Because they've done that road and we moved.
yeah. There's a whole lot of roads in town falling apart. Because what they didn't do way back when, you got a problem with plastic clay in this town. Plastic clay is detrimental in a municipality. So what it does is the clay that you can put it in flat, like this piece of paper here, you can tap it down and it's lovely. As soon as it rains, it expands and moves. And so it doesn't go back into, when it dries out, it doesn't go back this way. It might end up this way. So the only way to remediate that is to dig it out, dig it down, take it completely out, about 5 to 6 feet. Fill that with rock and lining and tap it every step of the way, and then it'll hold the road base. And that's why Madison is same thing.
Honestly, I'd say 5 to 6 is an understatement.
Exactly.
Every road we've done
Sometimes
since I've been on council, like we're 10, 12 feet
Yeah.
before we hit anything remotely viable.
100%, Councilor Corey, yeah.
Like shocking how far, and it's just awful. It's every time it surprises me. It's unbelievable how crappy the dirt is.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible. And then a lot of times on the plastic clay, you've got kind of what they call, I don't know the name of it, but anyways, it's a layer of silt. It has nothing to do with dirt. It's a layer of silt that comes in and settles as well, and that doesn't help us in it. So all we can do right now is patch. If I had maybe 100 million, I'd figure it all out, fix it. All I can do is patch it. So we'll do the best we can. We won't leave raw rocks, so we'll get the whole thing, fill it.
I don't know
Take a look.
They come and the tires are squealing and they've got these glove trucks and I said, I'm in a glove truck. Nailed some nails and boards laid across there.
Probably be at 6 in the morning. though.
You shouldn't announce it in a public meeting before you do it.
Yeah, good thing
You
about it.
gotta prove it was me, Corey, and then you have to be up all the time I'm up to make sure it's me.
We'll keep
I can edit
monitoring it.
it.
We'll take a look at it later when it stops raining. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, and our back alley is,
I noticed right when you come around the corner by your house, it has a place.
but you know what, I need somebody to come and find my admin, because I need to place something. In the winter, I shovel the snow at the edge of my path. They run it over, because they take that corner and are cutting across my path. So I said, no, I'm just gonna start watering it in. They wreck their vehicles, it's on my property.
What you have to do, Debbie, is get a surveyor, you just have to say to them, all I need is a pin location, probably about $150. We don't have a pin locator, because I've asked a couple times, we used to a long time ago. Get a registered surveyor, and then you just say, I only want pin location only. That's it.
Yeah, I like to know where my pins are, so I can either get a big rock or even the front. You look after that front area, and they run over the curb and over part of the lawn, because they're too lazy to take the back alley.
Yeah. Andrew and I, you must not have been home, but Andrew and I spent a lot of time, looking, about a week ago. I think I had a lot of time. So just call a registered surveyor, make sure he has the stamp of the Alberta registered surveyor, and just says, in location only.
Or there's apps on your phone that'll detect magnetic fields, and you can just, you'll know more or less where they are, and you just, it's a steel pin, right? Anything that's gonna detect steel is gonna find it, which your cell phone can do.
Oh, there you go.
Corey will come to it for you.
Yes.
If you have a general idea, yeah, then.
Yeah, go ahead, Irene, you have something?
Just nine things, really. I'm a little concerned, the house on the corner of 47th Street and 50th Avenue, got a wooden fence around it, a rustic wooden fence. There's part of that fence that's not there anymore, but inside the yard is a swimming pool. Now, if some kids take a delight in going to the swim late at night, I know when I've had swimming pools, we've had to have it completely fenced in, for safety reasons. So I just wondered if anything was done.
Yeah, like we have had this issue with that property many years, like literally damn near every year. They get a warning, and they take the pool down and just put it right back up, but it is under the Safety Codes Act. It is not, we are in a crisis management report Safety Codes Act, and it does require that any pool is fully fenced. So they are always warned, you have to get rid of your pool or fence your yard, and they take down their pool for a week and then just put it back up. It happens every day.
It's just a safety concern that I had.
Well, it's not just kids, it's also animals and stuff too,
Yeah.
right? And it's for safety that it's required to be fenced. It's not aesthetics, it's safety.
Yeah, it is safety
The
code.
other thing was, in front of Shoppers, for one location, in the sidewalk is that bit in front of the main door. It's been there a long time, and I know it was dealt with a couple of years ago, but it is still there, and it can be a hazard to people that have disabilities. And two ladies this last week have said to me, I nearly fell and broke my leg. If it wasn't for my friend, I would have down. And I know what they're talking about, because I can feel that dip. I feel things more than I see things. I can feel that dip, and if I didn't know it was there, I could have fallen into it. I'm trying to shop it at the front door.
They would judge us.
No, just
Oh, guardian.
yeah.
Gotcha.
The other thing is Taylor Park. And I can't say for sure, but I would say 4 years since Bob left. And that was supposed to be made into a nice place to rest for a few minutes or a few hours. And we donated the land to her. And I understood the condition was that his name was on it somewhere. Now, I could be wrong about and bought everything down here and saw the space that it's in, we should have saved ourselves, no matter who is in control of dealing with it. If they can't deal with it, no.
Well, I can update you on Taylor Park, Irene. The naming of Taylor Park, those, Chamber's looking after that. They have an MOA with the town. They're looking after that. They can give permission to sod. The town's not paying for any of it, they're paying for it. So it's all that, it was leveled, for yesterday, they're going to sod it, to be grass. The Taylor Park sign will be more to the, not straight on like it was before, it'll be more in the corners. You can see when they're driving, so we put back up. They're planting a perennial garden, and they're going to put, cement, picnic tables in there so people can sit and et cetera, and so forth. So, and then there's going to be some kind of platform in there for authority that they're developing. So, the sod should come in, I'm assuming probably in a week, so they're going to have to help them bring it back up. It's all been leveled properly so that the water is. So, Chamber's paying for that. Chamber member. They are.
That's why my taxes going up.
No, there's nothing to do with taxes. No, the Chamber's paying for the whole thing. The town is putting, no money into it at all.
Great. That just seems ridiculous. When you're saying they're not gonna have sod there for like a week, it's spring when it rains and we're gonna leave it a mud hole for a week, this seems like a horrible plan.
Well, I'm assuming, I haven't had a chance to talk.
Okay,
to them.
I would like to think that if you're going to dig it all up in spring when it's raining, that you're gonna have sod available like immediately.
Like right away. Yeah, I was kind of surprised.
I'm surprised they didn't sod it today. Like I saw they dug it up
Yeah.
yesterday. I was assuming that they were dealing with it today because it's spring and it's gonna be muddy and they're gonna have to start again. It's gonna be all, it's gonna go 2 level. It doesn't matter if they grade it. It'll be level as soon as they grade it.
Yeah, I thought it would be sod sooner. I just figured in a week or something. I mean, I'm surprised.
Like I said, I was surprised it wasn't today.
Well, I have no problem sending a little note to the Chamber, asking them to EPA for sod.
Well, I mean, like I say, you leave it any length of time, and it's gonna rain a bunch, and it's gonna be all out of whack, the grade again, and it's gonna be full of weeds again.
I have no comment about the.
Okay, yeah, like, this is like, I was just trying to, you said in a week or so, a
No.
week is way too long.
No, I hear what
That's
you're saying.
crazy. I'd like to think that isn't planned, but if you're just speaking,
No, I'm speaking metaphorically
Okay.
about a week.
okay. I'd like to think it's sooner.
I'd like to think so
Okay.
too. I think I would have done something different with the grass, but that's, how's that?
All right.
I'll double check, I'll send him a note tomorrow, see when that thought's coming in.
Yeah, Shelley?
Sorry, I don't have a voice. A couple questions. Can you hear me? So, when we receive communications to like council and administration, like we did from Carol and from Shauna, do we just ignore that? Or do we bring it forward? Like, what's the process for that? Because nobody's responded to them and we don't talk about it.
Okay, well, first of all, this is for public comments as part of it here. Right?
Okay, well,
But I know what you're saying,
I would agree, as a council, you have all the ability you want to add whatever you want to the agenda, and I agree that this specific part of the agenda was added specifically to people who are in the gallery a time to speak,
I've
because they don't have
spoken
that.
before, never been an issue.
Well, that's
No, all due respect, like in the past, I know I've let us bring things up and all that, but.
We're stopping that now?
No, the public needs to speak during the public.
No, but I'm asking, we're not allowed to.
No, you, either talk to Donna, or if you want to put it on the agenda, we'll bring it up for the next meeting for the council, if you want to bring it in there. Just let me know and we'll put it on the agenda so that we can address it properly.
It was, yeah, but it was late.
Yeah.
Because she emailed us on Friday, right? So.
Yeah, no, exactly, I know what you're talking about, and like I say, it just, and this is just me, like, I mean, the whole thing, even we get kind of sidetracked a little bit in the public, and all due respect for the ladies and everything else, but we don't give the administration an opportunity to get blindsided from this stuff, and they don't have opportunity to get their ducks in a row when we're talking about it. So, happy to put it on the agenda for the next one. Anything else? We'll take a motion to get 10-minute recess.
I was gonna share a couple things, but I don't know if I dare.
No, it's just, it's it's for everybody, like, you know what I'm saying? This is for the public part, right on the agenda, that's why we have it. So if you have something that you can either talk directly to administration,
It's not a question.
huh?
It's not a question that requires an answer. I was just gonna offer information.
Oh, well, we can, you know, at the end here, we can, yes, a little bit at the end if you wanna do it that way, and.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, it should be added as an
Yeah.
agenda item, if there's
Yeah,
something to talk about.
exactly. Yeah, just, you know, to be politically correct.
All right.
Anyhow, can I get a motion to take a 10-minute recess?
Yeah, I would take 10 minutes.
All in favor? That's great. Thank you.